Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to tell you 10 things that I would do if I were to restart a survivor world in Minecraft. So the first thing that I would do is make sure that you spawn near a village, and also make sure you spawn near an acacia biome, and also make sure that you spawn near either a jungle forest, a spruce forest, or a dark oak biome. Reason for this I'll explain later in the video, but make sure that you spawn near those biomes, so it can make your life a lot easier when it comes to the other steps I'm about to talk about. Either of those biomes, either dark oak jungle or spruce, are definitely necessary. So, as I said, make sure that you find a village that you feel comfortable with. Make sure that it's close to your spawn. So spawn is over there for me. This is pretty close. This is actually really close. It's fine if the village is a bit farther away. It doesn't really matter. It really just depends on what you want. But make sure that once you get here, obviously gather all the wheat available. You can craft a bunch of bread, and it will last you for pretty much like the entire start of your game, pretty much. But yeah, just get a bunch of bread. It's really important. The next thing that you would want to do after you've looted the entire village, you also want to make sure that you get one of these brewing stands. It's really important as well. Maybe like place it down in like a starter base, like next to a mountain or something. It's going to be really helpful, and I'll explain why later in the video. Next, after you've set up, you got all the village loot, got looted all the chests and everything. You got all your bread, got a decent amount of wood. You're gonna want to find a cave nearby. It's a very good cave actually, because it goes all the way down to deep slate level, and that's something that you definitely want to make sure that you do. You find a cave that goes all the way down to deep slate. While you're in these caves, you want to obviously mine for iron, the necessary coal. You're going to want to make sure that you're mining for essential stuff like coal, iron. But ultimately, once you get a full set of iron, you get a decent amount of coal. You want to make a bunch of torches, and then just travel all the way down to deep slate level. Get the diamonds that are necessary, and I would also say try and find a mine shaft. Quick tip is that mine shafts actually spawn more frequently if you go to a mountain biome. So traveling to a mountain biome and then finding a mine shaft is actually much better than just going to one close. But for now, I would say that whatever works for you, but I would definitely prioritize going to a mine shaft and finding a mine shaft because it will be really important. I'll explain a lot why later in the video. So once you've gone into the cave that you found, if you found a mine shaft, that's a bonus. But you get all your resources, you craft all your armor. I would say get a stack of diamonds so you don't have to worry about it for a while. It should be pretty easy to find diamonds, especially if you go to like a big cave like this and go down to deep slate level. Like spend the whole first like 2 days of Minecraft days, obviously, just gathering diamonds. Go to the surface, and then you could craft all your full diamond armor and tools. Then you could go on to do the next steps that I would tell you to do as well. So you want to then return to the surface once you're done with that. And make sure while you're down there and you find the mine shaft, you save the cave spider spawner coordinates, because you want to find a cave spider spawner inside of the mine shaft that you find, so that you can make a cave spider spawner and you can get spider eyes easily. And I'll explain why you need spider eyes later, but definitely make sure if you get spider eyes, you do not throw them away because they're really important. Return to the surface, then you could set up like a temporary base inside of like a mountain like this. Like dig into it, set up some chests, then make like furnaces and all that stuff, smelt all your ores, and then like organize your inventory a little bit, and then make your diamond armor there. And you could also place like your pruning stand in there as well, so you can have a whole setup and stuff. This is obviously also like a temporary base. You don't want to spend like your early game like building an entire base when you could just do that late game, and you'll have much more like resources and equipment that could make it easier for you to build and use your creative mind instead of like doing it right away and making it harder for yourself. I try to like max out everything before I get into like big builds and stuff, so it's more easy for you to do those builds, and you don't have to burn yourself out getting all the resources when you don't really have the equipment to do that in the first place. So yeah, once you return to the surface, make your temporary base. Obviously, it's not going to be too much. Just make it like inside of a mountain or something, so you don't have to like worry about like roofs and stuff. Because that's something that I really worry about. I don't want to have like a flat roof and it look ugly. So just make sure that you. It really depend. It really is up to you, but I would say try and make it inside of a mountain. Make your starter base simple and small. It doesn't have to be big. And then you can make your base outside later on. Also, another quick tip that I would tell you is don't make your base like inside of a village, so the villagers um, are not able to like go inside of your house and then just like sleep in your beds and stuff and just go inside. It's kind of just annoying. So try and make sure that you don't place your base like near a village. Obviously, you want it near here. Like this is probably like a okay space because the villagers are far enough away so that they can't like see your beds and stuff and your materials. But make sure that it's like far away, like relatively far away, like over here. Then I would say gather like a bunch of blocks. I would say either like cobblestone or just stone in general, or you could just use dirt or whatever. You could use glass if you want to. And then immediately go over here. Actually, before you even do that, make sure you set up like all your starter farms in your like area of like your base. So like wheat farm, cow farm, chicken farm. Chicken farms are actually really important for the feathers for arrows later in the late game. So do that as well. And then obviously sheep farm if you want to get into a deep dark, it's really important as well. And of course, like villager breeders and stuff, you need wool for the beds. Um, and then just make all your starter farms. Sugarcane is really important as well for the bookshelves for your enchantment setup. So just make sure you get all of your starter farms out the way so you don't have to worry about it later. After that, you want to make sure that you make a villager trading hall. For me, I personally like making my villager trading halls right in the center because all the villagers eventually come over here and to gather around. So it's really easy for them to be attracted to your fishing tables and lecterns. So you could easily like lead the villagers into it, so it doesn't take like extra time. Also, like the position of your um, grading hall does not really matter unless you can make it prettier like later on. I would say just make it inside of your village so you don't have to travel so far. Also, like obviously, you want to make sure that your starter base is near your village as well. Maybe late game you could probably make your villager trading hall like further away and like travel with your villagers. But for me personally, I hate dealing with villagers, so I just don't want to have to like travel so far away to just get to my villager trading hall when I could just be like a couple hundred blocks away from my actual base. So once you've like cleared out a good enough area for your trading calls, make sure for obviously for this tutorial I'm not really concerned about how pretty it looks, but just using dirt even is not even that bad. Like you could change the blocks later if you want to. Like using dirt, you don't have to like gather all these fancy materials like straight away. Using dirt is perfectly okay. Like you don't need to make like it super difficult or super like fancy or anything like early game. Just want to make sure you have a trading call so you can enchant all your gear and stuff. You don't have to worry about that later. So once you're finished making like all the basic shapes of your trading call, obviously I normally do it like this, so it's not super easy, super simple. It's obviously like the early games. You don't want to make it too like complicated, like with all the zombies and stuff, converting them. Because right now it doesn't really matter. Like if you get like enough Fletchers and get enough sticks, you could easily make them enough emeralds to do whatever you want. Just make the simple villager trading hall setup, which is normally just like this. You just make all the stalls for the villagers. Then you need to craft 3 fletching tables. So craft your 3 fleshing tables, place them down, wait for villagers to come to your area. Also one thing again, like destroy all of the jobs so the villagers are jobless, so that they have to find new jobs over in your trading hall. So they'll like wander over here during like the trading hour, which is like midday. So they should start like making their way to the trading center, so they'll find your job and they'll take it most likely. And then once you have your villager like in the job, they're obviously going to have to interact with the workbench. So once they're like sitting right here, they're normally like interacting with the workbench. You could like trap them in like this, and then you could lead them in. For example, let's just get a villager here. Just make sure that they're right here. They get the job, then you could trade with them to like make them walk over here, and then you could just trap them in. And then it's just simple as that. Just do that for all these stalls, and then you'll have all your villagers set up in place, and you could place trap doors, and then you could like trade with them. If you, obviously Fletchers are just for trading sticks, but for librarians, you could just make sure you trade or get the exact book that you want. This guy's gonna take the job. Why is he not taking the job? So you want to make sure that you could like make a little hideout here so you don't like get blown up by a creeper. And then you could just, for example, if you get a lectern, you can make sure. Okay, why is it? You can make sure that they like get the job. I don't know why they're not taking the job right now, but yeah. So just like trade with them, get them to get the books that you want. Once you have all the books that you want, that's pretty much it. And then make sure you have the fletching tables so that you could easily trade sticks for emeralds, which is really important. Once you're finished with your trading call, um, the next step you want to do is get like a source for as much sticks as you possibly can, which is why I said spawn near a spruce, jungle, or dark oak forest, because those trees are the easiest to harvest, and therefore you could easily get like a substantial amount of sticks that you need to trade with the villagers. Gather sap 4 or more saplings. So for example, for this, I'll say, let's do spruce. I'm just gonna get all 3 of the saplings. The reason why I say these saplings specifically is because you you could easily put 4 together, and then you get a whole bunch of wood that you could just do this to, make a staircase up to get all the wood, and then you probably get around 2 stacks from 1 tree of spruce, especially one this tall. Then you just spiral all the way down and get all the logs that you need. Then you could just make more trees with this, because obviously, like, they drop saplings. Saplings, see, they're already dropping saplings. Just replant that. I would say spruce is probably the best tree because for jungle, for example, you can't like for jungle you can't like place them together, so it's like harder. But for spruce and dark oak, okay, bro, donkey, what are you doing? You could place them together. Oh, it's because they're not growing because there's a tree right there, so it's like really close. So for spruce, you could grow it like this, and then you could place it together like that, and you could do the same with dark oak. So it's really easy to get like a bunch of logs in just like one setting. And I would say spruce is probably the best because they don't have like all these branches off, and they also have a lot more wood to them. So if you can, I would say try and get spruce over anything else. Once you've gathered all your wood, you could obviously like replant them, but then you could easily make a lot of sticks to trade with the Fletchers. And then you could easily get like a whole bunch of emeralds to trade for books and stuff with your librarians. And you could just get a whole bunch of books as well. And you could easily like fully enchant your armor with all the best enchants. Then what you want to do is, how I said you have to find a spider spawner from a mine shaft earlier. You're going to want to go back to your spider spawner coordinates. You want to build a cave spider farm. Then you want to get around 30 spider eyes from that, and then you could return to the surface. Then you could gather all those eyes. And then you're going to want to do the next step, which is to make an armadillo XP farm, which is the best XP farm for early game. which is also why I told you to spawn near an acacia biome, which is pretty close to the village that I spawned next to. So you want to go make an armadillo XP farm in the acacia biome, because that's where armadillos spawn. You're going to want to get 24 armadillos, which is why I told you to get a cave spider spawner, which is because you could get 2 armadillos and then you could breed them with spider eyes. So you're going to want to get the cave spider spawner. You're going to want to make the farm and get all the eyes necessary. And then you want to clear out like a little area over here. Dig. Okay, this is not a good area. Like over here, you want to dig 2 blocks down for a 3x3 area. Make sure all of the blocks here are dirt. You do not want stone, or the farm won't work. Just make sure everything is dirt. Then you want to do like a little thing right here. Then you want to get a armor stand. You want to place it right here. And then you could gather up all of your armadillos in like a fenced area. Like right here. Place all your armadillos here and then breed them up until you get 24 armadillos. And then once you do that, you want to make sure you wait up at nighttime. And then you want to make sure that you get a zombie inside a 2x3 hole. And then you want to dig 3 blocks down. Get a zombie in a boat. And make sure that before you sleep for the night, and then because the zombies obviously, you have to make sure that because the zombies burn in the daytime, so you have to make sure that you cover the hole up. And then the reason why we have a zombie here is because the armadillos, once they see mobs nearby, they go in like a shell, so they are easily able to move around. They also don't take any damage. So the armadillos don't take any damage when they see mobs around. So you could easily get a campfire, place it right here, then you get a water bucket, place it this way so the water flows towards this direction. Then you want to get glass, place it all around here, and then you are going to want to get 24 armadillos right here. So obviously you're going to breed them up, and you could easily push the armadillos in to the hole, the 1 block hole. You want to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You just want to get 24 of those. So that once you, obviously, it works better with 24, but you could obviously do it with less, but I would say get 24 so you don't have to worry about it. You place a splash potion of infestation. There's like little things that spawn. Then you could easily go into survival mode. And then once you're here, you could easily whack the armor stand, and you could get a whole bunch of XP. Obviously, this is only with 6, so imagine the XP that you're gonna get with 24. This is like a basic. You don't get as much XP as you do with 24, but you could still get a significant amount with only 6 if you want to. Then you could just get that up, and you can mend your weapons. You could get an XP levels for your enchantment setup when you get it. Then just get a bunch of XP. It's really useful for early game. Obviously, like, just get all that. The one thing I would say is that you have to go to the Nether. You have to obviously the broomstone that I told you to get earlier is why. Here's why. Just get your powder. Gonna get the blaze powder, and then you're gonna get gunpowder, and then you want to get stone. And then what else you want? Oh yeah, you want to get nether wart as well. So you got to get nether wart from like from a nether fortress. Then you want to get 3 bottles of water. Then you want to place them in the brewing sand. You want to power the brewing sand up with the blaze powder. Then you want to make awkward potions with the nether wart, so that you could place a stone here, and then you could place gunpowder to make it a splash potion. Let's do that, and then you get a splash potion of infestation that you could splash here. I'll link the actual like tutorial for this farm in the description because I didn't make the farm, someone else did. But it's a really useful farm, and I definitely recommend using it. It's probably like the best early game XP farm, and honestly, I would say it's like, besides obviously the Enderman farm, I would say this is probably like one of the best XP farms. It gives you a lot of XP. It's really useful for early game as well because it's really accessible. But yeah, I definitely recommend doing that farm to get easy XP levels so you could easily enchant all your armor and gear. Once you like have all your XP, you have all of your equipment, you are fully maxed out and you want to go to the nether and get some netherite. A lot of YouTubers actually tell you to use TNT or beds. I actually don't think that's the case. I think if you have a full efficiency 5 pickaxe, diamond pickaxe, it's actually easier to just go strip mining for the netherite. For me, I think it makes it a lot more efficient. It's a lot less time consuming as well because you could strip right through the nether rack. You could get a whole bunch of netherite from that. You could clear out a whole bunch more area. Just go mine at strip mine at level 15, and then just completely destroy all the things around you. I'll show you, for example. For example, you want to make your nether portal probably in your base as well, not like out here in the open, but I'm just doing it for a tutorial. You want to go to the nether. Make sure you're obviously in the spawn. This is actually a perfect spawn for mining netherite. Obviously, you want to make sure that you go down to level 15, so I'll just do that real quick. So now that you're at level 15 and you have all the area, so now that you're at level 15 and you're at netherite level, you want to get your efficiency 5 pickaxe. Obviously, you probably have a lot more enchantment. So you got efficiency 5, you want to go into game mode survival, of course. Then you got your efficiency 5 pickaxe. I'm in survival mode now, so you guys could see. You want to, obviously, the efficiency 5, you could do all this, and you could find a lot of netherite like this, instead of doing the typical, just doing beds or using like a bunch of TNT. This is much more efficient actually. If you go to Y level 15 and do this instead, it's much better to do it this way than just make a bunch of TNT. I've actually gotten a lot more netherite from doing this instead of using a bunch of beds or TNT. So definitely utilize this technique instead of the beds. I think the beds is good, it's effective, but I don't think it's as effective at just mining with an efficiency 5 pickaxe at netherite level. Anyways, thank you for watching my video to the end. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you use some of the tips that I told you in this in today's video for your future survival worlds. It definitely helped me a lot. Like making sure that I, get fully maxed out in this something that you could do to make sure you improve how you approach the game, as well as make sure you get all the gear possible so you could easily make your world however you like in a short amount of time without having to worry about getting XP, having to worry about emeralds and villagers and villager trading halls and maxing out your armor. You could just do that straight away. Then you could get into the actual fun of it and gather the resources, make the farms, and build all the houses, all the bases that you want in the world. But yeah, just I hope you found today's video fun and enjoyable to watch. And if you didn't find it fun and enjoyable, make sure to leave a like. And also, if you really liked it, subscribe as well. It really helps me a lot. Um, and yeah, just thank you for your support. And to see more videos like this, obviously subscribe and See you guys later. Bye.